Today I'm going to show you Sony's Smartwatch 2, also known as the SW2. It's their next generation up from the SW1 that they've had in previous years. And it's got a slightly larger screen and more app compatibility, and of course it's overall generally better. So this is the box here, and we're going to look at the box first. I've actually taken it out of the box and used it for the past couple of months, but we're going to look at the specifications here. It does come with a Runtastic app, so they provide you a code to get the full application on your phone to use with the smartwatch when you're doing sports. But the watch has built-in near-field communication, which makes Bluetooth pairing with your phone easy and getting the app set up to operate with your phone pretty easy. And then, of course, like I say, it uses Bluetooth. It's version 3.0 that's on the watch. There's micro USB charging. It's got IP57 waterproofing, so you could pretty much submerge the watch up to a few feet of water. So you do have a little bit of resistance to water, but I wouldn't recommend really trying to submerge it in water to test that out. But it's the only one of the smartwatch lines that has the best waterproofing of IP57 rating, and your battery will last you 3 to 4 days on this watch, depending, of course, on your usage. And of course the smartwatch comes in this little fancy box that Sony has, but it's surprising the people that unbox these can't get these boxes open because there's a particular way to opening them. First we gotta slide it out forward to pull that cap out and get that out. Then it's inside the plastic shell. We gotta slide this part off, and then the watch would be in there, but all your components are down in there, and they're pulling on this, trying to figure out, and there's a button up here. You grab this section where the watch would be, push in on the button, and pull forward. And that'll open up your box. So that's how you get the box open. But looking what's actually in the box, you'll get this short USB micro charging cable for the watch. There's no small AC adapter if you want to charge it from a wall outlet, so you'll have to buy one separately, but technically your smartphone will probably have a USB micro charger with it, and you can use that for the watch. And then you get all your little Sony pamphlets. There's your activation code for the Runtastic app, and of course all this other thing about warranty data. And then we're going to look at the smartwatch itself. And again, here's your display. It has touch screen on it, so you can use your touch functions. There's your ambient light sensor right here next to the Sony logo. That kind of pretty much only controls the sleep-wake of the display. The brightness control on the watch is manual, so you actually have to manually change the brightness on the watch. The sensor will not do that. There's two versions of the Smartwatch SW2. You can get it with this band that I've got here, this rubber silicone style band, or you can go with a titanium one. But I stuck with this one, so you can get titanium or you can get this. And you got 3 buttons toward the bottom. You've got a application back button, so you can go back through applications, a home button that takes you back to the home screen, and then you've got a menu button for, again, specific apps that have menu support. On the back of the watch is where you'll find the NFC and all the information about it. And if you hold that up to your phone, if you've got NFC capability, it'll pair the watch with it, and you'll also be able to get the Smart Connect app needed to use the functions with the watch. And on the side is your power and sleep wake button. Pressing once will turn on the display to let you see the time. Pressing it again will bring you into your menu. Now I'm going to bring the phone over, get this all set up. This is the phone I have it paired with. It's an HTC One S, and it will download the Smart Connect app from Sony. This is what allows you to connect up Sony devices, including the Smartwatch 2. So let me get into the smartwatch configuration section. And after you get that installed, you can go in and edit your settings, and this will let you download specific applications that you want to have on the smartwatch. Now, between this and, say, the Pebble or Samsung's Galaxy Gear, The Galaxy Gear is on the higher end because it's got the speakerphone and the 720p camera built in, but it's limited to select Samsung phones, and it also has limited apps in its store right now, so there's not a whole lot of flexibility if you're looking at that smartwatch. At the other end, you've got the Pebble, which is strictly notification based, and it's got physical hardware buttons. There's no touchscreen on it, but it's the most compatible watch because it works with Android and iOS, and in terms of simplicity, it's the simpler smartwatch to use. But I stuck with this because I wanted a little more stuff because it's the second generation of Sony and the touchscreen and other stuff, so I'd stick with that. Anyway, I'll show some of the apps that I have now. Sony also has specific phone apps for their Xperia line of phones, such as their mail app and stuff like that. I've found only work on Xperia phones. They will not work on other Android smartphones. And you need Android 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich at least to use this smartwatch. Now, of course, that pretty much covers most anybody that has an Android phone right now. They'll at least have Ice Cream Sandwich. Others will have Jelly Bean or even all the way up to Kit Kat right now. So you're pretty much covered. If you're running anything older than Ice Cream Sandwich, it's probably time to be upgrading anyway. But getting back to the watch, to show some of the applications I have, let's see what I have. I have a couple of useful applications on here. There's a Commander application for the phone. This is kind of useful if you've got a phone that you've got Wi-Fi hotspot capability on that you want to use, or if you're traveling around or something like that and you want to turn on or off specific features. As again, I can turn off my 4G data on the phone through here. I can turn off the sound and mute the phone if I don't want it to hear it ring or make any kind of notification sounds. Turn off Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, anything like that, including checking the battery strength so I can see how the phone's doing with that. Again, you can also download other apps like basic calendar apps. There's kind of a little flashlight thing on here, but it's really just brightening up the screen if you want to use it as a flashlight. Now, also talking about the mail issue, there is a Gmail specific app that Google makes for it. So if you primarily use Gmail, you're covered there. But if you use something else like AIM Mail or something like that, I've decided to use K9 Mail because K9 Mail is supported with an app on the smartwatch, and you can tie it, using SMTP and other things like that, like IMAP and POP3, to your mail accounts. So that'll let you see the email there. And you can get your text messages on here. You can dial out phone numbers. There's no speakerphone built in here, but if you have something like a Bluetooth headset, you can dial numbers on the smartwatch instead of using your headsets, or if your phone doesn't have any voice communications. There's also specific apps like Twitter. You can get a Twitter app. There's also the Facebook app. So there's several familiar apps for people that use them, like Facebook, Twitter, and Gmail that you can put on here. Other ones are things like slideshows that'll let you view pictures on the smartwatch off the phone. You've got a couple of other things like being able to check the weather. There's some weather apps. If I can pull it up here, I can see the weather there. And also there is a specific app, for instance, that if you have a program that you want to have notifications on the smartwatch, but there's no specific app in the App Store for it, there are applications out there that let you customize notifications from other programs to be directed through that and then onto the smartwatch. And so I've got one on here. I don't know exactly what it's called, but I think it's like iWatch It or something like that. I think it's called Watch It. It's something along those lines, and it lets you select apps that you want to receive notifications from and forward them to the smartwatch. And again, there's music player controls, data things. There's also a little cool one on here I found, which is a map application. So I can view kind of a generic map right on top of the smartwatch, and it will update as I travel using the phone's GPS. So there are some neat apps that are out there. Again, there's a missed call list. If I get something there, I can go into Gmail here, and that's an example of the menu button. I press that, and I can hit that button there, and let me see different messages. So I can do different kind of functions and interactions with the smartwatch. Now, some other things about the smartwatch is if the screen goes to sleep because, say, the ambient sensor detects that it's dark or it's nighttime and nothing's happening with the watch, there is an accelerometer built in on the smartwatch. So the moment you pick up the watch, if it's sleeping, it'll automatically wake back up and display the time on the LCD screen. Another thing is if you've got a application that you want to take advantage of the accelerometer with, there are applications on the App Store that will make use of the accelerometer inside the smartwatch to kind of give you some interesting app functionality on your phone, for instance, that you can use with this. So again, that's kind of an overview of Sony Smartwatch 2. Again, I've been using it for a while, and for me, notifications and being able to read small messages and stuff like that has been working fine for me. I haven't really needed much more functionality out of the watch there than that. But again, the smartwatch technology, it's going to grow in the coming years, and we'll see more come out from other manufacturers, and they'll improve, and we'll see what that's all like. But for now, that's, again, it's the Sony Smartwatch SW2.